Greetings, sports fans. Welcome back to Edivision TV, the channel where we look at sports differently. And today we're going to dive into the Reggae Boyz squad to face off against Cuba and also Honduras in this edition of the Nations League. And as you can see, I'm not alone. Join, Joining me tonight is Rashida from Spot Kick with Rashida on YouTube. Rashida, how you doing?
Hi, Night. Thank you for having me. I'm doing very well. I'm honored to be on your platform, and I can't wait for us to dive into it.
All right. And before we continue, who do you support? As you can see, I'm a Guna
As in club team.
club team.
Oh, I'm a Chelsea girl through and through. Sorry, can't help it.
Uh, sorry to hear that. But before we get into it, though, I know persons not familiar with this space. Who's Rashida? How you got into sports and sports content?
So Rashida is just a very outgoing 23-year old who is just always on the hunt for her dream, which is to be a sports journalist. And my journey with sports started at a younger age. I saw my mother watching sports and I was kind of intrigued with it to be like, what's happening here? And every sports fan have that moment with their favorite sports or a favorite player or favorite team that kind of, caught the eyes. And I started watching football in about, I would say, the 2010s era. So that era was very much like the birth of superstars in the modern era. And so watching football at that time kind of just inspired me to be like in love with the sport. I've never played the sport, by the way, and I don't have any interest to, but just like the optics of the game is what really had me from the start.
Okay, that's good. So let's give the people what they want. Let's review this team.
Hmm.
On screen is a squad, and ladies first. You're my guest, so what do you make of the team or the squad?
I mean, it's pretty much the same squad unchanged from the Copa America bit. You have a few names coming in and a few names going out, which would be predicted.
Hmm.
The biggest story around the squad, as usual, as it was for the Copa America announcement and for this as well, is Leon Bailey's inclusion. Now, what's different from then is there's no drama, and
Hmm.
we praise God for that, because you don't want, leading up to a major tournament, any form of drama surrounding the team. So his involvement, but I'm not sure how far that will go, given that he came off today. Aston Villa versus who they played today, Leicester City.
Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, and he had came off, kind of unsure what his injury is, and he's been an injury prone player, so we can't really hold our fingers crossed to be like he's gonna make a surprise introduction into the team. So in with excluding him from it, not you know literally,
Hmm.
but just on the safe side, I think the team is pretty much what we've always known it to be. You're excited to see people like Kaim Dixon, Demari Gray, and Casey Palmer. So you're just looking to what we can build up from, because for the
Hmm.
Nations League we placed third at the last staging. So you can't do less than third. You'd
Yeah,
be more
looking to go
looking for,
forward this time.
yeah, you'd be
Looking
more
to make the
looking
final.
for, yeah, looking to make the final, hopefully winning. But we've had moments of choking, battling at the last minute. It's not our first time in an event like this. It's not our first time on the big stages. We've seen it in like the Gold Cup, for instance, where this
Hmm.
close, but so far we're going through a bit of a transitional stage, because after the Nations League we're looking to the World Cup qualifiers, and then we're possibly looking at the World Cup. So I think, outside of putting aside winning the whole thing or making the final, what I would expect from this squad and from the coach is a difference in tactical setup, a difference in how Jamaica plays, and a difference in how we get the wins and even see out a game. because I think one of the things that make myself and other Jamaicans and supporters of the Reggae Boys a bit concerned for them is we don't have that fighting mentality. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that fighting spirit. And if you've ever watched them
Yeah.
live, you can tell that that's something that we struggle with. So for this Nation League time around, I just really want them to just lock in as a group.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have had enough time with the present coach and also among themselves to get that kind of energy going. But I guess the team, they've been with each other for quite some times and they're familiar with each other, and the camaraderie. I think this is one of the best groups, best Reggae Boys teams in previous years. So I just want them to just, just stay focused,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah, for me is the squad is what was expected. We didn't expect the new coach to come and make 10, 12 changes. He will definitely go with what's there. We've been building a nice core of players. Despite what people might think of Al Grimson,
Mm-hmm.
he has been building nicely, and we've come to this stage. We have a nice little team, a nice core of players that we can trust. That it's starting to gel a little bit, and becoming more familiar with each other. But it's still the midfield, Rashida, is very thin. It's very very thin. And if you
Yeah.
look in the defense, at what 9 defenders.
Right.
I don't know if we're going war or this is a Chelsea squad. It's too much defenders. We have too much defenders,
And
and
that's pretty
the
much
midfield.
been Jamaica's downfall because
Yeah.
I think the structure, and I don't know if it's a coaching issue or because sometimes the order can come from above, right? I know like the federation would want to have their say on what goes. And I've
Hmm.
seen it, no matter the coach, no matter the players we've always took a defensive route. And we saw it in the Copa America as well. We were 1-0 up to, I don't remember the team, we're doing pretty well. All we needed is just more attacking force into the box. And out of nowhere, it was like throw on a defender, throw in a centre back. And I'm like, what is happening? We were doing
Hmm.
so well. And I don't know why we have to think, oh, defense, and park the bus and 10 men have to be in the for it to work. No,
Yeah.
so I guess that's what they're probably going to be going with again, like with
Yeah. Too many men. Too many men
yeah.
around the back. There's too many
Right.
men.
Mm-hmm.
But Leon Bailey though, you touched on the Leon Bailey situation.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, were you happy to see him back in the team, back from the break when you heard the news?
So I spoke about it on my channel and I just reiterate the point here.
Hmm.
The previous incident that happened at the Copa America squad announcement, it was unprofessional from any player, any
Hmm.
status you are,
Very.
whether or not the JFF is right or the JFF is wrong, and all the incompetence that they are known for, right? It is up to you as a national team player to represent your country, right? And despite the falling out that whatever happens and wherever you feel that there's a shortcoming, you address that as such, right? But I think the whole tantrums of I'm not playing for the team and I'm on vacation and I'm not coming back and all of these stuff should have resulted in a more, I think a more, what's the word I'm looking for, there should have been consequences to his actions.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we should not have allowed him to just walk back in feeling like, oh, it's his team, because the team has, I'm sorry to say, but the team has progressed past Leon Bailey. It wasn't the
Good.
days of when we had to
Good.
have Leon Bailey in the team, and if Leon Bailey's not there, Jamaica can't, perform
And
well.
when again, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and I understand where the coach would have been coming from to add him into this team to be like, hey, there's no ill feelings against this player. He's still a Jamaican player at the end of the day, no matter what has happened. But I think more time should have been given to sort out that situation for him to come back in. And as I said,
Hmm.
with or without Leon Bailey, the Reggae Boys, the Reggae Boys will be fine.
Yeah, because you might have people say that we perform better without Liam Bailey. Well,
Right.
well, the previous Nation League kind of proved that. Went to we got the third place medal,
Right.
and
Right.
and he wasn't impressive in the ties against Canada, missing a whole lot of chances.
And it has always been a recurring thing of where Liam Bailey performs better for Aston Villa than
For
he
Aston Villa.
does Jamaica, you know? And so I think because persons kind of take it out of context of the whole issue. The issue is never Leon Bailey, the person, you know. The JFF has made their claims of many other behavioral things that they had to point out to
Mm-hmm.
him, you know, his performances that he would muster up for the team. So it's never an attack on him. So when he makes it seem like, oh, it's an attack on his character and on him the person, that's never the issue. We're talking about the player, we're talking about what you have provided to the team. And so that's still a concern. Despite how you perform well for Aston Villa, we've not had that Leon
Mm-hmm.
Bailey for Jamaica. And our problems are way bigger than Leon Bailey at this current moment.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that we won't miss him a whole lot when I
No.
really look at it.
Yeah.
But in terms of his replacement, can you see anybody the JFF can call upon now to replace him at such a late stage? If that's if, because we don't know, if he's unable to make the trip. But I know Aston Villa they're going to say, "Yo, you're not going."
Yeah, he's
So,
definitely, because the Premier League clubs basically all operate the
mm,
same. Once the players picked up an injury, they're gonna rehabilitate in that country,
in the
and
country,
there's
yeah.
no way they're gonna let him to come play for the national team and disrupt his entire season because we don't know what the
And then
wait.
Champions League coming up for them.
Yeah, we don't know what the wait time for his injuries. It might be a couple of weeks. Him coming to play for the Reggae Boyz might put him out for months. So he's
Hmm.
not gonna come in. I do think no addition should be made this last minute because
Really?
because think of it, right? You would have been practicing, training all this time, hoping to be added to the team. They sacrifice you for Leon Bailey, and then at the last moment, it's like, come,
We need you. But
no,
that's always
that's
been the case. That's
yeah,
always been the
it's
case.
just, and that's wrong because we see it even if we switch over to track and field for a bit, right? Where the J3 had to cut so many athletes from going to Paris. And then at the last minute, when others pulled up and we needed a relay team, it was like, oh, you know what? Maybe now at the last moment you'll be. And I commend athletes who take the higher road to be like, hey, it's my country and I'm going to still represent.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, the dynamic, the match against Cuba is coming up in less than a week. In less
Yeah,
than
but
a week.
it's a squad, you know. That's why we have a pool of players, Rashida.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like one down, the next man up.
I,
That's why we have a squad to pick from.
yeah, I
We
mean,
cannot
but
pick everybody in the 23. So if we're
yeah,
down to 22, more likely, if we can, we need to replace a player.
replace one. Yeah, I do think that's up to the coach's discretion if he, sees it
Hmm.
fit to bring
And then
somebody in.
the cost now to bring in a, if it's somebody abroad, that's the cost. But for
Right, right.
me, so what about Cephas? I'm looking like Cephas, maybe a Jamal Lowe could be a replacement.
Right, because Cephas was a part of the Copa America
The
team,
Copa
and
America, yeah.
I think he had come on in one of the in like a late moment in one of the games, and he showed a promising,
He should have
but
scored, yeah.
right, and then we never saw him again, and it was like, what's the point in having these players at your disposal if you're not going to utilize them? You understand?
Hmm.
So I mean, if he gets a late call up, I think it would have to be done between Monday. Because any other day other than that, it's like you're drawing it out basically.
Remember, we're playing two games. We're going to play two games.
Oh yeah, for the other game. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think, but getting in the additional player no before the other game, because you'd never want it to be like there's drama or there is a disturbance around the team, right? And you know how the media can chalk up that to be like, oh, there's no replacement for Bailey, and we're because people have art because even with the squad announcement, people have been on the GFF about announcing the squad. And it's like,
Hmm.
guys, they normally announce it a week or so away from the
Oh,
game.
yeah. 7 days
They're
or
not
so, yeah.
going, it's not like other national teams that do it like months before or weeks before
Mm.
to, just get the fans off their back. So it's never been a JFF to be like, at the moment. They've always left things just a bit down to the wire a bit.
So, Rashida, this September 6th now, can
Mm.
we Can we get a win? Can Steve McLaren get his first win at home at the National Stadium?
He should, because
Should.
Cuba has been unfortunate in some of the previous games and they have a
Mm-hmm.
very weak in defense. But at the same time, you'd never want to underestimate any opponent. You'd want to be wise on who their, attacking um powers are. You'd want to know how that team structures up. And so I think it's on Steve to prove to the Jamaican people, because we only care about a win. The Jamaican
Come on, it's
society
a must
don't
win.
really
It's
care. They
definitely a
don't care
must
about
win.
a
Must win.
good performance. We don't
Yeah.
care about the boys did great. We don't care about trying to cozy up to the higher ups and try to make it seem like there's improvement, because the only improvement is winning each game, right? And so the home crowd has drastically improved, in my opinion, compared to previous years where the Reggae Boys normally would not have any support. And that's thanks to the JFF's incredible marketing, because I don't know if you've seen, like, they've put up posters everywhere.
Yeah,
They're
man, I've
doing
seen.
the
Big
they're
up to
doing
eight
campaign
seven six
online,
stream.
and so persons are gonna show up. It's become a family friendly thing as well, where younger generations are even excited to go and watch them. So with the home crowd behind them, I'm I would love for them to get a win here, because a win, I'd lose, a loss, I must say, would only set us back. And we're supposed to be improving, and we're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to moving on, because the objective is to get better, and to, because this is a trial run, before the World Cup. You can't fix
Welcome.
these issues at the World Cup or in the World Cup qualifiers. You should have already ironed out everything. So
From
this
now.
is where we get that done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be, we are more than capable of winning this match.
Prediction. Scoreline.
Scoreline, I'm saying a 2-1 win to the Reggae Boys.
I'm going for 1-0 to the Reggae Boys.
1-0. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Worst case scenario, is a draw. I don't see us
No,
losing. A
no,
worst
we
case
don't want that.
worst case scenario is a draw, but I don't see us losing. Like, if we lose, I'll have a full on meltdown, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I'll just.
All right, folks. Going to wrap this one. If you like the video, please like the video. Subscribe. I'm Eddie Guna. That's Rashida. Rashida, before you go though, tell the people where they can find you.
Alright, so you guys can go ahead and follow my YouTube channel. It's Spot Kick with Rashida. I talk about things outside of the Reggae Boys, because I don't want my pressure to go up. So I cover all different types of footballing leagues and all of that stuff, international football as well as individual player profiles. You guys can find me on social media, Rashida Murphy on Instagram, Rashida_876 on Twitter. So keep in tune with your girl.
All right, folks. There you have it. Go and follow Rashida and follow Eddie Guna as well, or Eddie Vision TV,
Thank you
whichever
so
one.
much for having me.
You're welcome. All right, people. Thanks for watching. We're out.